Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. I'm a business, LinkedIn, and podcast coach, as well as a luxury brand consultant, and I help business owners take their brands to the next level by implementing my personal techniques when it comes to growing their service, sales, and social media. Over the past 20 years, I've helped grow multiple brands in the beauty, hospitality, health, and luxury travel markets. I've exceeded all of their expectations, and I'm here to share my tips and tricks on how I did it. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. And trust me, living with an autoimmune disease is never an easy task, so you can definitely expect some pretty crazy stories shared here as well. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic Podcast Facebook group, and that's where I'll be every week to answer all of your questions. Now, if you want to hear any of my exclusive news first, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and sign up for my weekly VIP newsletter. Now, let's get started with today's show. Hey everyone, how are you? It's Kelly, and we are 2 days late with this episode because Friday was one insane day. So I'm going to dive right into today's episode and give you the 411 on what has been going on in my life and what is coming up in the future. So long story short, last Friday, 2 days ago, it's Sunday, I'm recording right now. So 2 days ago was my 1-year chemo anniversary, and I had plans to get a tattoo. I was living my best life at the beach. I did a workout first thing in the morning. I had conference calls with some old clients and some friends, and I was just having the best day. Cut to literally 2 minutes later, I couldn't move and I couldn't speak, and I was so scared. I turned the lock off on my phone and was waving my arm in the air for help. And it was the scariest situation I've ever been in my life, and I've never felt so alone. So needless to say, I ended up spending the entire day and night in the emergency room, and I had gone to a new emergency room, one that I had never been to before, and that was also not a good choice. I should have just went with my gut and went where I usually go, but I thought that my specialist was going to be at this emergency room, so I specifically spent $40 on an Uber to get me there, praying that I would make it. I was blowing up all of my friends' phones, telling them my symptoms, leaving my phone unlocked so that whoever was in charge or grabbed my phone could see what was going on with me if I couldn't speak. So it turns out my diagnosis was that I had migraines and it's my thyroid. And I just don't believe that. So I'm going to be dealing with that next. But other than that, I wanted to talk to you guys about my 1-year chemo anniversary. And it was just such a crazy day because I was so excited and I wanted to share that story with you and just share with you how I was feeling. And obviously it's super emotional looking back on a year not having it, and I should have already had 2 more treatments, and it's just like a crazy situation. And of course, story of my life, something crazy happened, so I ended up in the hospital. So now finally I am recording this on Sunday, like I said, and I have so much more to share with you. So besides my 1-year chemo anniversary, that is kind of like moving on to the next chapter of my life, I hope, because right now I'm dealing with doctors at UCLA and the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. So that we'll talk about, I don't know, whenever it happens, because right now I'm kind of in limbo with all of my NMO autoimmune disease stuff. So I'm definitely going to keep you in the loop with that. But if you want to stay up to date, I post a lot when I'm at the doctor's just so I can really share my story so that I can help others that are going through something like this, that have a chronic illness, on my Instagram. So if you're not following me, I would love to connect with you. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic, and also on 12/18/18, I announced some pretty major news, and it's that I'm going to adopt a baby. So I shouldn't really say baby because I'm requesting a toddler. Although, and I would prefer twins, a girl and a boy. Let's be honest. This is what I really want. But we'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be at least a year or two for this journey, but I'm ready. I am moving on to the next chapter of my life. I really want to be a mom, and I'm like getting so emotional right now. Oh my God. It's just time. And so I made it Facebook official, like everything else in our lives. It's Facebook official. I put it out in the universe, 12/18/18. That is the day that I went to my doctor. That is the day I got the information. That is the day I immediately went online. I was posting stuff on my Instagram stories that I was on the adoption website and I was starting the journey. And there's really a lot involved, like so much. And so I have to go to a lot of trainings and a lot of meetings, and I have to go through like inspections, and it's about a year's worth of work. So I can jam pack it into X amount of months, or I can take my time. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my time, but things could change. So right now I just am starting the process, and it is a process. So it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be maybe 3 years, but I'm ready and I've already started the process. So I'm really excited about that. I'm definitely sharing it all on my Instagram. I've already created a little highlight reel on top of my feed because I want others to know that they can do the same thing. And I'm so, so excited about it. Half of my friends had no idea. So it was a big shock. But I'm so ready to be a mom, and all my friends are moms, and I'm just so ready. And almost all of my friends are moms, and it's just time in my life. I've had a rough couple of years. I've had to put my life on hold, being sick, honestly, like the last 3 years. So now that I'm somewhat feeling better today, minus my little ER visit, I know that I am capable of doing amazing things for not only myself, but for another human being. So I'm so excited to share that with you guys here today. 12/18/18, I made it official. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. So stay tuned for more on that. I'm definitely going to be sharing the meetings and the journey throughout the whole process, and everything I'm doing, I'm sharing it all. I just feel like I should, because if I can do it, so can you. So if you're listening and it's something that you've been going back and forth about, write down your thoughts in your journal and just make it happen. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. I promise. So now moving on to some other exciting news. There's just so much to share. I am going to Mexico tomorrow, and I am going to be waking up in a new country in 2019, and I seriously cannot be any more excited. This has been in the works for like 6 months, and I kept getting sick, and I kept having relapses, and just like life happened, and the timing just was never right. And I've been looking at this place for like 7 months, and I was on a waiting list, and then I couldn't get in, and like there's just something that always happened, right? Isn't that just like what happens in our life? Like when we want something so bad, like something comes up and like ruins it for us. But that's life, and that just teaches us a lesson, a life lesson. So I've definitely learned the power of patience this year, that is for sure. But I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Mexico. So I found my cute little place. I spent 4 hours at Target today because I just was daydreaming. I was just envisioning everything that I wanted to get, let alone I was trying to think about what I still have in Las Vegas, which is about 20 boxes that I have to go through. And I honestly plan on throwing away at like minimum half of that stuff. A lot of it's artwork, which I obviously can't get rid of. It's some of my artwork from school. It's albums. It's a lot of the things that I've accumulated from traveling for 10 years and being overseas for so long, and just collecting like amazing paraphernalia and collectibles and artwork. So that's for sure staying with me. A lot of the stuff I'm going to be donating, but I'll be back in Las Vegas in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks or 1 week? 2 weeks. And a little bit less than 2 weeks. And I'm going to be at my best friend's baby shower, which I cannot wait. I'm going to catch up with some friends. I'm going to be going through all my stuff and just literally throwing it away, donating it, or keeping it. And then coming back to San Diego, where I am now for I'm here at my last night. I'm at an Airbnb. I saw my last sunset. It was amazing. I cried. I took myself to my end of year dinner. I'm seriously so full. I don't even know how I'm recording this show right now because it was so good. And all I could smell was Mexican. And I was like, no, Kelly, you can't have Mexican. You're going to be in Mexico tomorrow. You need Italian. So I had Italian. I had the most excellent service ever. I was all by myself. I was in my comfy clothes. I had no makeup on. I'm wearing a hat. And I just got the best service. And it just made me feel so good. So I had this ginormous Italian feast. It was so good. And I only had one glass of wine. I'm about to have another one here in my Airbnb and get a ton of work done. I still have to do before tomorrow, the end of the year. And so I just kind of celebrated working so hard, this last quarter, so hard. And I have a lot of new clients, and I'm definitely moving my business into more primarily of a podcasting situation, just because that is what I'm doing every week. I'm producing about 10 shows a week, and that's a lot. So there's a lot of business changes that are going on, but this whole Mexican trip is starting tomorrow. I'm going to be documenting it on my Instagram stories so you can see how I'm actually getting there. Because it took me 5 hours to figure out how to get there. And I'm really good with travel. I worked in luxury travel for years, so I can basically book and do anything under the sun in a very short period of time. But when it comes to New Year's Eve, crossing the border and bringing my stuff and not having a vehicle, it makes it a little hard. So stay tuned. I'll make sure I make a highlight of it and name it Mexico, obviously, so you can see how I get there. I've put all of my belongings that I have in San Diego inside clear bins, so God forbid customs decides to, go through all of my belongings. It's going to make their life a lot easier. So as I said, I was in Target for literally 4 hours. I don't know how I was in Target for 4 hours. I was just daydreaming and putting things in my car and then putting them back on the shelf and taking conference calls and talking to my friends. I was living my best life. And I can't even remember the last time I did that. I didn't really enjoy Christmas shopping. I didn't really enjoy, I was just working nonstop. So this was literally my first day to go to a retail place and enjoy myself and enjoy how hard I've worked and just enjoy a couple hours off, which is why I'm working late tonight. And then tomorrow I have some laundry to do and some work to finish, and then I'm getting picked up at noon, and I should be in Mexico at my new place by 1:30. So it's seriously, it's an hour and a half tops, I hope, because the border is going to be crazy coming to the States, but I'm getting out of here. So hopefully it'll only be an hour and a half, but I'm so excited. My driver is amazing. His name is John. And I've been talking to him all week because my schedule has changed every day. And I'm just super, super excited to bring you guys along for the ride. I'm going to have a brand new office set up, a brand new video area, podcasting area, it's just the cutest little studio, and I'm definitely moving towards the beach in a high rise in a month or so. So this is just a temporary location just to get all of my stuff in the country in one spot. So I'm just making 2 trips and I'll be good. And then after this month, I'll be moving towards the beach in a high rise. That's the plan. So I'm super excited to bring you guys along for that journey. I am catching up on all of my Spanish because I obviously need to be fluent again. And yeah, so that's another huge excitement happening in my life. And then also, if you guys are listening in the United States and Japan and the UK and Sweden and Germany, I just want to say thank you, because you are my top 5 countries. You are the top 5 listeners, top 5 downloads that I get for this show every single week. So if you are listening right now, take a screenshot of this show on your phone, take a picture of it if you're listening on your desktop, and tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram, because I have something I want to send to you that's going to keep you so organized in 2019. It's a document that I created in its Excel spreadsheet. You're going to love it. You can change all the subjects however you want, but it's going to really keep you organized in your professional and your personal life. And also, I would like to send to you a little mindset document that I've created as well. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening, for commenting, for tagging me, for writing me reviews, just for being there. Like, I have an audience in 45 countries now, which is absolutely insane to me. I just checked my stats yesterday and I'm now in 45 countries. The number just keeps getting bigger and bigger. On iHeartRadio, we can live chat. So if you're listening on iHeartRadio right now, scroll down on the app or on your desktop and you can leave me a comment with the Facebook plugin and I can answer you right away. So how cool is that? I am so grateful to be on iHeartRadio. It took me 3 months to get on that platform and I'm obsessed with it. So you better believe this girl is going to be at the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards next year, because that is on my vision board and that is happening. And I cannot wait to take you guys along for the ride. This show is going to be making some changes. You're going to be hearing an updated intro, an updated outro, updated commercials, updated show bio, new graphics. There's just so much in store for this show. And I wouldn't be able to do it without all of you listening. It seriously means the world to me. I never thought I would be, I'm like getting so emotional. I just never thought I would be where I am right now. I'm so emotional today. Thank God this isn't a live video, but it is because of you guys listening. And if it wasn't for you, like, taking the time every day to download a show, I wouldn't be able to get sponsors on the show. I wouldn't be able to have guests on the show. I wouldn't be able to have my show. I wouldn't be able to take the time to record twice a week now. And it just really means so much. And so in 2019, this show is getting a major upgrade. And it's because of you guys. Thank you so much. I'm like about to lose it. I told you I only have one glass of wine. This is so crazy. I'm just so emotional because so much has happened just this week in my life. It's like insane. But I'm so, so grateful for you guys listening. And please tag me on Facebook and Instagram. Now I'm like stumbling my words. At The Happy Workaholic. I would love to see where you're listening. I would love to read your reviews. So just let me know. You can, like I said, chat with me live if you're listening on iHeartRadio, and we can connect and talk live. Oh my God, it's so fun when I get to talk to you guys live when you're listening, because I can get like real live feedback and make my shows like even bigger and better for you. So thank you so much. And again, tag me anytime you listen to the show so that I can get your information and send you these 2 documents. It's a 2019 Excel spreadsheet to keep you organized in your personal and professional life, as well as the Entrepreneur's Daily Guide to Greatness, which is a business mindset and organizational tool, and I use it every day. It's just a little something I created. If you don't feel like tagging me for some odd reason, no worries at all. If you're not on social media, you can simply just send me an email, hello@thehappyworkaholic.com, and send me a little email saying that you're listening to the show, and I will go ahead and email you those documents, and I hope that you like them. So that is a little recap and a little crying session for you on episode 108. And I can't believe we're already over 100 episodes. It's just insane. So I have one more podcast to record for you next, and then that will give us a couple days break. And then the next show is going to be with my next guest. And I have a guest list that is fire, you guys, for 2019. These are insanely talented women that you probably know more than half of them. And I cannot wait to share their stories on the I Chose This Life series, which is happening every Wednesday. And then again, my shows are solo every Friday. But this show was due Friday, so I'm past Friday 2 days ago, so I'm a little bit past due. And then I'm going to do another one to wrap up the year. So I hope that you're enjoying all of this content I'm giving you. I'm getting into so much more business in the new year to come. And thanks again so much for listening. It truly means the world to me. And that's it. So I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are listening. and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please let me know by writing me a review on iTunes for the Happy Workaholic podcast. I would truly appreciate it. As I always say, sharing is caring. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic podcast Facebook group. And that is where I am every week to answer all of your questions. Now, just so you know, I have been spending so much time over on my Instagram, and I would love to connect with you over there. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic, and don't forget to tag me when listening to your favorite episode so I can showcase you on my Instagram stories. For any other information regarding the Happy Workaholic Network, leverage your LinkedIn and your podcast production, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that you are having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again soon.